It was meant to be a day like any other, a quiet, peaceful stroll along the beach, an escape from the hustle and bustle of life. But for Toyah Cordingley, that day would end in a tragedy that would stun the world. What was supposed to be a relaxing walk turned into a horrifying event that would leave a small Australian town grappling with the brutal loss of a young woman. Welcome to CrimeSpot. In this true crime documentary, we will dive into the chilling case of Toyah Cordingley, whose murder rocked the idyllic landscape of North Queensland. Join us as we unravel the details behind her tragic death, the investigation that followed, and the disturbing revelations that have left many questions unanswered. The woman behind the tragedy. Who was Toyah Cordingley? Toyah Cordingley was a 24-year-old woman from the small town of Wangetti, Queensland, Australia. Bright, kind, and full of promise, Toyah was an animal lover and a dedicated pharmacy assistant. Her life was one of hope and possibility, and she had so much ahead of her. Toyah's family and friends described her as a woman with a big heart, always ready to help others. Her connection to animals was especially strong. She had a passion for animal welfare, and in the weeks before her tragic death, she had been working tirelessly to care for rescue animals, a cause she was deeply passionate about. She was, by all accounts, a person with a warm smile and a bright future. But that future was taken away on one fateful day in October 2018. The last walk. On October 21, 2018, Toyah decided to spend a day at the beach. Wangetti Beach, located just north of Cairns, is known for its serene beauty, turquoise waters, pristine sands, and a sense of calm that attracts both locals and tourists alike. It was a place that Toyah loved, often visiting to unwind and relax. This time, she had decided to take her dog for a walk along the beach and through the nearby bushland. At around 2:00 p.m., Toyah sent a text message to her mother, telling her that she would be home soon. But as the hours passed and Toyah failed to return, her family began to worry. It wasn't like her to go missing for so long, especially without a word. When night fell, and there was still no sign of Toyah, her family reported her missing to the police. What happened next would become one of the most disturbing and mysterious cases in the region's history. The discovery. The next day, Toyah's body was discovered. It was found in a remote area near the entrance of a small, secluded section of the beach, just a short distance from where she had been walking. Her body had been brutally attacked, and the circumstances surrounding her death suggested it wasn't a random act of violence. Toyah's body showed clear signs of a violent struggle. She had been assaulted and left to die in the harsh, unforgiving environment. The crime scene was chilling. Her body was found just a few hundred meters from the car park, but hidden enough to suggest the killer had taken efforts to conceal it. It didn't take long for investigators to confirm that this was not an accidental death. Toyah had been murdered. The investigation begins. Once the body was discovered, police launched a full-scale investigation. It was clear that the killer had knowledge of the area, as the location where Toyah's body was found was off the beaten path. The autopsy confirmed that Toyah had died from blunt force trauma, and there was evidence of sexual assault. The brutality of the crime shocked the tight-knit community. For investigators, the most pressing question was, who would want to harm Toyah Cordingley? Police initially searched for any potential witnesses who might have seen something on the beach or heard anything suspicious. They combed through surveillance footage from nearby areas, hoping to find a lead. The investigation quickly expanded, with detectives working tirelessly to piece together Toyah's final moments. They interviewed Toyah's family and friends, trying to uncover any potential motive or suspects. At first, there appeared to be no obvious leads. Toyah had no known enemies, and her personal life seemed to be free of conflict. However, a breakthrough was on the horizon, one that would take the case in a completely unexpected direction. The breakthrough, a key suspect. Just days after Toyah's body was found, investigators learned about a man named Rajwinder Singh. Singh, a 38-year-old Indian national, had recently moved to the area and worked as a healthcare worker. He was known to have been living in the Cairns region and had some connections to the local community, but he wasn't a prominent figure. Singh quickly became the key suspect in Toyah's murder. The evidence against him was circumstantial at first, but there were several pieces that raised suspicions. A witness reported seeing a man matching Singh's description near the area where Toyah's body was found. Additionally, Singh had been in contact with Toyah prior to her death, though the nature of their interactions remained unclear. The more investigators dug into Singh's past, the more unsettling details emerged. It was revealed that Singh had been living in Australia under a temporary visa, and he had recently come under scrutiny for various issues related to his employment. Authorities learned that Singh had abruptly left Australia just days after Toyah's body was discovered, making him the primary suspect in the case. The search for Singh, a global manhunt. The discovery of Singh's sudden departure from Australia sent shockwaves through the investigation. Authorities quickly launched an international manhunt to find him, and the case became the subject of intense media scrutiny. The search for Rajwinder Singh took investigators across borders as they worked with international law enforcement agencies to locate him. It wasn't long before authorities discovered that Singh had fled to India, where he was believed to be hiding. A warrant for his arrest was issued, and Indian authorities were asked to assist in locating him. The case gained international attention, and Toyah's family remained hopeful that justice would be served, despite the mounting challenges of tracking down a fugitive halfway across the world. The arrest in India. In November 2022, nearly 4 years after Toyah's murder, the breakthrough everyone had been waiting for came. Rajwinder Singh was arrested in India, after months of efforts by Australian authorities and international law enforcement. His arrest was a significant step forward in the investigation, but the battle was far from over. Singh's extradition to Australia was the next hurdle. The process of bringing him back to face charges was complicated by international law and diplomatic procedures. After a tense period of legal wrangling, Singh was finally extradited to Australia in late 2022, where he would stand trial for the murder of Toyah Cordingley. The trial and legal proceedings. Rajwinder Singh's trial began in 2024, and it has been a highly anticipated event for those who followed the case. Toyah's family has been vocal throughout the legal process, attending every hearing and advocating for justice. The trial has been grueling, with evidence presented that paints a chilling picture of Toyah's last moments and Singh's involvement in her death. As the trial unfolds, the prosecution has presented evidence linking Singh to the crime scene, including DNA evidence, forensic analysis, and testimony from witnesses who identified him as a possible suspect. The defense, however, has denied Singh's involvement and argued that the evidence is circumstantial. But as the case continues, it is clear that the brutal and tragic nature of Toyah's murder has left an indelible mark on the community and her family. Toyah Cordingley's death was not just a tragedy for her family, it was a devastating blow to a community that had once been a symbol of peaceful paradise. Her murder, at the hands of someone she likely knew, has left many unanswered questions. The case has shown just how quickly life can change and how one fateful day can alter the course of history forever. As the trial continues and justice is pursued, Toyah's family remains hopeful that her memory will live on, not just as a victim, but as a woman who loved animals, had a bright future, and was taken far too soon. If you found this case disturbing, or if you'd like to share your thoughts on the investigation, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to CrimeSpot for more true crime documentaries and updates on ongoing cases.